Hi, everybody. Welcome to Evening TV. This is Evening Ransom. And I know cheating is a big issue for a lot of people. And that is one thing that at least I don't think I have any experience with in my marriage. That's one thing I don't think he did. But I do have a lot of clients that share with me cheating stories. And in this case, I have a client that was generous enough to let me share her story. We're going to call her Kim. And this is a really important story with a lot of challenges that I think is going to be inspiring to you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and share it. Okay, let's get started.
Let me ask a little truth. I'd like to know your point of view.
Kim was married for 15 years to a man who had left her after becoming hugely successful in the tech world. So when he insisted 3 years before we met that they move from Chicago out to Portland for a prestigious, lucrative position, she reluctantly agreed. 8 months after the move, he filed for divorce and moved in with the marketing director of a large advertising firm, a young, beautiful, and self-made millionaire in her own right. Kim subsequently learned that the move to Portland was motivated by a 5-year long-distance affair. That is, he had it all planned out. When he filed for divorce, he hired one of the city's most powerful and aggressive attorneys, and she ended up signing a settlement agreement that left her with far less money than she was due. She had a 10-year-old daughter, Amy, who now adored her dad's new girlfriend and preferred actually to stay at their house because it was a big, beautiful house with a swimming pool and an entertainment center. And of course, the girlfriend bought Amy a new puppy, which she loved, and Amy told Kim that she didn't like leaving the puppy when she came to her house. Okay. So she didn't like being away from the puppy. So just, Kim just described layer upon layer of pain. And oh my gosh, that would just be the worst. That would be so incredibly painful. She hated everything about the West Coast. She didn't want to be there anymore, but now because of her daughter, she didn't feel that she could leave and go back to Chicago, where she had friends and a sister. It just wasn't an option anymore. So she requested a consultation with me, and because she wanted some direction on how to let go of her intense anger and hatred toward her ex. By the time we met, she had a good job and several new friends, but still every time she thought about her ex, his beautiful and successful partner, the tremendous prestige of the couple, their fancy home with her where her daughter preferred to stay, the many levels of deception that included his plotting out the move, her rage erupted full force. Kim told me that she wanted to find some way to forgive him and move on, but could not for a particular reason. In her words, I feel violated and beaten to a pulp. The hardest thing is that I have no forum to show the world what he did to me. She paused and added, this may sound crazy, but I wish he had actually beaten me. I wish I had the physical bruises that would allow me to bring him to justice. If only it had happened that way, she explained, with physical evidence that could be substantiated, that she could take it to court, and there in front of lawyers, judges, and the men and women of the jury, she could tell her story. Everyone would see what he had done. His shark of a lawyer would lose the case. This fantasy, this courtroom, was now where she lived. Her husband would be forced to face his cruelty, her pain, the extent that he had violated, deceived, and tricked her. He would go to jail. His reputation would be ruined, and there would be justice and reparations. He would no longer be able to fool his friends, their daughter, and himself. The courtroom scene was so vivid to her, so repeatedly rehearsed, she could see the smallest details of the majestic room, the faces of the sympathetic and shocked members of the jury, her ex-husband covering his head in shame as he faced the photographers from the local paper. It was the stuff that movies are made of, the unexpected and satisfying ending where truth and justice prevail. She replayed the scene endlessly in her mind. While offering momentary comfort each time she replayed it, also provided the glue that fastened her to the false beliefs that did not serve her. That her ex needed to see what he had done to her, and that subsequently she needed to forgive him. These were the keys that she thought would unlock the door of the small, unhappy place that imprisoned her. Instead, they helped keep her trapped. I can't forgive him until I can make him see this situation he has put me in and what he's done to me. I've heard these words from countless other men and women post-divorce who, with good reason, feel stuck in the role of the done-in partner, especially if there were not other significant people to witness and validate what occurred. You know, or if you're with someone who deceived everybody and they all think that something else occurred, you know, it's really, really hard. Really hard. So my feedback, of course, wasn't what she wanted to hear. With the right words in a letter, or making him sit down and listen to her feelings one more time, or by confronting the new partner, by publishing a short memoir, an op-ed piece in the paper, she might make him see what he had put her through, and then she might be able to finally forgive him, right? This is what she wanted me to say, but I didn't say that. What I did say was, I said that to her enormous credit, she had not gone the usual route of trying to enlist Amy in her camp at the expense of Amy's relationship with her dad, which was a remarkable and selfless and loving achievement. She deserved a Medal of Honor for the way that she had gotten up each day, put herself together, gone to work, built a life for Amy and herself, made friends, and kept going. I mean, really, she was a survivor, and she did a great job. And I told her that. I told her that she should really take great pride in that it was a great thing, especially given the multiple losses and deceptions that she'd experienced. And of course she felt profoundly done in. Of course, none of these things were out of the ordinary. They make perfect sense. I told her that longing for witnesses and for the unequivocal validation of her feelings, completely normal. And for all of us, current hurts and obfuscations of our reality gain additional power from the inevitable, unrepaired, and unacknowledged injuries of childhood. 2 years later, I had referred Kim to a therapist that's in her area who I knew was a skilled and empathic listener and who was an expert in EMDR, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. Can be a really useful therapy, which is a therapy that I have done myself to deal with trauma. Steadying, clear, and direct validation the therapist provided was a part of the healing. The EMDR helped her to feel lighter and keep the painful feelings more at a distance. The therapist had also recommended medication to help soothe her overheated nervous system and give her some relief from the kind of obsessive thinking that she knew wasn't serving her, doing her well. And, she was now running, eating healthily, getting sunshine and sleep, taking good care of herself, and all these things plus time help. Kim also shared her experience in attending a forgiveness workshop, because forgiveness was still something that she sought. It was something that she really wanted to pursue. So she went to the workshop to work on her anger and resentment, and basically flunked out. She flunked out, which is kind of funny. But she came away with some new skills. She realized basically two things: that their relationships in general are not some kind of competition where the one who gets out first with most of the goods is the winner. And also realized that at some level, her husband could not be as happy as he appeared to be or even believed himself to be, because people who deceive and diminish others are not deeply happy and fully at peace with themselves. And finally, she realized that despite some ongoing envy and resentment for the good life that he had, she did not want to be him. She did not want to be a person who would do what he had done. Her dignity and integrity were intact, qualities far more important than what money could buy. Kim said these were not new insights for her, but often what we need most to learn is not new. Rather, we most need to learn what we already know, and to know it and live it at a deeper level. So I don't mean to imply that we hold on to our anger simply because we unconsciously want to show the other person how totally they've screwed up our lives, or because it maintains our connection to them, or because it lets us keep alive the fantasy that one day that person will change the way we want them to. Nor are these feelings completely in our control. Countless self-help books, blogs, seminars promise relief from suffering when pain and suffering are as much a part of life as happiness and joy. The only way to avoid being mistreated in this world is to fold up in a dark corner. If you go outside or let others in, you're going to get hurt sometimes. Ditto if you've grown up in a family rather than being raised by wolves. Some people will behave badly and will not apologize, repair the harm, or even care about what your feelings are. There are countless resources out there to aid us with the process of letting go. And when we have the will and intention to move in this direction, therapy, meditation, yoga, religious and spiritual practices, exercise, writing, making art, breathing, relaxation, and being useful to others are just a few of the available paths and concrete strategies to help us stop nursing past grievances and live more peacefully in the present. So how do you find peace when the hurt you've suffered will never be acknowledged or repaired by the one who inflicted it? The answer is as simple as the challenge is daunting. Any way you can.